Renaissance, the time of rebirth in European history where classical viewpoints were the way to go. This time period included humanists, individuals who thought critically and emphasized the true value of humans. There are different subcategories of humanism, and amongst the scholarly humanists was Erasmus, best known for his Praise of Folly, a satirical essay on traditions of the Western Church and society as a whole. Artists were a major factor as well, Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo being two of the most popular.
Michelangelo, but you're not my type of artwork.
Age of Exploration, the period of time where ships all across Europe sailed the globe for new trading routes, goods, and land. Of course, we all know the famous Christopher Columbus who sailed the ocean blue in 1492, but we had others such as Magellan and Prince Henry the Navigator.
Hey everyone, Ferdinand Magellan here, the first person to circumnavigate the globe. I am just living life right now, feeling all the discoveries that have been upon me, and I'm very, very excited to see them all just take place. Prince Henry, the Navigator, the initiator of the Age of Discoveries!
Yes, I wanted to congratulate you on circumnavigating the globe. Tilt that up for me, please.
My dearest apologies.
I'm so excited, we're gonna explore the world.
Can I just...
Make Portuguese great again. Portugal.
Of course.
For Portugal!
Yes.
We can go explore new empires and fight villains and... Ow, my leg!
Absolute monarchy, emphasis on the 100% power of a monarch on their people, whether it be on religion or politics. Louis XIV, the Sun King, Henry VIII, who really knew his way around the kingdom, and Catherine the Great were just a few of the absolute monarchs during this time. Then we have the Hamburger rulers, consisting of James I, Charles I, Oliver Cromwell, Charles II, James II, and finishing off with a plate that is William and Mary of Orange. Protestant Reformation, the time where the beliefs and practices of the Roman Catholic Church were attempted to be reformed. Theologian Martin Luther initiated this movement, later convincing his followers to follow the Protestant way. You might also know him for his 95 Theses.
Sir?
Sir, we're having... Your Holiness, we're having problems with indulgences aren't being used for the right things, sir, and we're having prostitutes in the holy city of Rome.
Prostitutes? That's preposterous! Prostitutes! Where on this land do you see a prostitute?
Well, sir, over there.
Oh, God.
You want some, honey?
John Calvin was also a significant figure during this time, having the strongest belief in predestination.
Prostitutes. Doesn't matter what you do with your life because you're already condemned to hell, you whore. By the way, the name's Calvin. John Calvin.
But it's not me.
Scientific Revolution, the kickoff of the concept of science being incorporated in the lives of Europeans across the continent. Significant figures include Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler, and Newton. Counter-Reformation, the revival of the classical Catholic religion beginning with the Council of Trent and ending with the conclusion of the 30 Years' War. Jesuits, members of the Society of Jesus with a strong influence in Catholic views, were a major group at the time. The Papal Inquisition was re-established to work against the Protestant faith as well. Glorious Revolution, when James II had his throne taken away by William of Orange, bringing the power within the English Constitution to be forever changed. The result of this event was the English Bill of Rights. Industrial Revolution, the shift from the agrarian to machine-controlled way of life. This really sped up the manufacturing of food and clothing. Important inventions during this period was the cotton gin by Eli Whitney, Henry Bessemer's steelmaking process, the steam engine, and railroads. French Revolution, what led to the end of the monarchy when Napoleon Bonaparte became leader in 1799. Within this time frame, the tennis court oath was made. No, not a literal oath made in a tennis court, but the event where the National Assembly made an oath to never separate until France had an official written constitution. Enlightenment, the time period where Europeans emphasized being an individual and having reason instead of following traditional ways. Here we have enlightened despots such as Peter and Catherine the Great, Rousseau, Hobbes, Locke, and Voltaire. Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species, what is the foundation of evolutionary biology, showing that people throughout time evolved through natural selection. Social Darwinism, a series of theories involving the concepts of natural selection, survival of the fittest, and selective breeding. Maine, militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism, aka the main reasons for the start of World War I. Bismarck of Prussia was the king of alliances, and during this time there was a scramble for Africa, the race of European powers to gain African territory for the betterment of their countries.
Oh, crikey, it's a crocodile!
Death of Franz Ferdinand. This also contributed to the start of World War I. Ferdinand was assassinated by Serbian rebels, and fun fact, he shot his wife while pregnant. Here we have a dramatization of the events at hand. Treaty of Versailles, one of the peace treaties following World War I. It included German reparations that must be paid, and sadly, France was still upset over the Franco-Prussian War. For reference, this was prior to the Great Depression. Adolf Hitler, anti-Semitism. If you didn't know, Hitler became ruler at the time of the Great Depression, post-World War I, and when he was in jail, he wrote Mein Kampf, My Struggle. He thought of the final solution, killing off all the Jews, and overall was a pretty great person. No. First coined in 1879, anti-Semitism made its way into dear old Hitler's heart, for the definition is simply prejudice against the Jewish.
Bitch, I ain't Jewish!
Appeasement. Basically, a promise made between separate nations for each other's demands to be met in order to avoid war. Chamberlain attempted to resolve the crisis of violence on Hitler's side, that is Germany, but Hitler, being the power-hungry guy he is, world domination conquered all. World domination conquered all. Okay. Invasion of Poland. The German invasion that began World War II, the Nazi-Soviet Non-Aggression Pact was signed only days before, where the Soviet Union promised they wouldn't defend Poland from the east should Germany attack from the west, and you see how that played out. The Big Three, what consisted of Stalin, Churchill, and Roosevelt. They met up in Potsdam, Germany to discuss terms to end the Second World War, and Roosevelt was later replaced by Truman. D-Day, aka the attack on Normandy, when the Allied forces invade northern France by first landing upon the beaches of Normandy. Atomic bombings, the American bombings of the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, leading to Japan's surrender in World War II. Cold War, the nonviolent conflict between the superpowers of the US and the USSR. Truman's containment policy was created to prevent the further spread of communism. The Korean War was the first military action of the Cold War. There was a nuclear crisis as well. Mikhail Gorbachev, the same year he ended his rule, the Berlin Wall fell, symbolizing the end of the Soviet Union. He was its last ruler. And that was a year in review of European history. There were ups and there were downs, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.